The song is Life on Mars, arguably one of the greatest songs ever written by one of the greatest artists that might have walked this fucking earth, David Bowie. It's from his 71 album, Hunky Dory. It's number 108 out of 500 on the 500 with me, Josh Adam Meyers. I was going to make a joke and call myself Dane Cook, but nah. Love you, Danny. Thank you for joining us on the only podcast where comedians going through Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums. Man, I am really having fun making this, Alex. Alex, producer, he's on punishment because he could fuck the sound up, but he's recording this. We're trying to do the intros with video now, and I was looking forward to this episode, man. I love David Bowie so much. The older I've gotten, I talk all about it with our guest. It's a dream, man, making this podcast for you guys. And like I said before, man, we're down to the final 100 in about 8 weeks. So tell everybody, because I know 500 was scary, but 100 you can do. It's only 2 years. You know, I know it's been a weird show, man. It was started one way, and then Spotify came in and kind of fucking changed it and ruined it a little bit, paid me a shitload of money, but they really changed the momentum of the show. I was out of it where I didn't give a shit for a while. Thank God for Morty and thank God for JT. JT, man, I love you, buddy. I love you to death. I really do. Emily, I fucking love you too, man. You have been the heartbeat of this show to find us the guests like the one we have today and continue. You know, I know I'm a pain in the ass to work with, but dude, you just nail it every time. Alex, I'm so happy to have Alex. Adam, we used to argue all the time, but man, I fucking love you, buddy. He is a tough cookie, dude. Peter, Alex's brother, the original, play this, Peter. I'm really proud of this, is what I'm trying to say. Especially the last like fucking 20 episodes, man. We've really been knocking it out of the park. I'm doing the research again. I'm spending the time, and I hope that shows. So tell everybody about the final 100. Make it a thing. We're going to do most of them live. I'm going to spend the money, fly all over the fucking world to get some of these guests, and we are aiming up to be really big. My goal, man, for fucking Sergeant Pepper is to have an actual living Beatle. And the way my career is going right now, it's probably going to happen. Patreon, all that shit. You know about it. Guys, subscribe to the Patreon, YouTube, blah, 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 blah. All right. You guys want to talk about Hunky Dory? You want to talk about it? How do you sum this record up? I said it. I'm going to say it on the podcast earlier or later in the episode, maybe earlier in the episode. But this is another one of those big records because we're kind of in that moment where a lot of these artists now are making the transitional periods where they go from what was before to what is after. And I think this is it. This is Bowie, and this is the sound of a future legend realizing that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. That's badass, man. He could be an alien. He could be a poet. He could be a prophet. He could be a dad. He could be an oracle. He could be just a guy at a piano quietly trying to outright the entire 70s before lunch. Morty, DJ Morty Coyle, my one of my best friends and writer on the show, who I love you to death, buddy, and thank you for all the help. I remember I said it. It was like, was every Bowie big? He goes, every Bowie album was a landmark. Like fuck, like it was like Independence Day in like '95 when that came out, and the movie theater, the Uptown in DC, just ran the movie for 24 hours because everybody wanted to see it. This is how it starts. From my understanding, this is how it starts. Bowie becoming Bowie a couple weeks ago is the Stones becoming the Stones. You know, what was it after that? Loaded? It's not the same. But I'll tell you this. This one's important. This is a fucking important one. Released December 1971. This is a biggie. And I can still thank fucking, oh my God, my buddy from the Unknown Theater, watching him sing Oh You Pretty Things. It was the coolest shit ever. Yeah, dude. And our guest today, come on, the one and only Seth Green. Come on. You are sitting down with a guy very much like Bowie, very changing constantly, wildly talented, whose career has run from Buffy the Vampire Slayer to stealing the show in the Austin Powers movies, to Family Guy, to the Emmy-winning Robot Chicken. He is, for decades, he's one of the child actors that's not only survived, but flourished. He's one of the sharpest comedic voices, moving easily between acting, writing, directing, and producing. He is the David Bowie of fucking television and movies, radio days. Oh, we get to talk about it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to this. And because of him, hopefully we're going to get some other guests that we might mention. That Emily just trying for. But to check out all of Seth's current projects, check out his official website, sethgreen.com, and go to all his social channels at Seth Green. And with that being said, run the spiel. Rate, review, and most importantly, subscribe to the 500. Listen free on all platforms. Leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to the show now. I used to get shit on. Hopefully I'm not anymore. Follow me at Josh Adam Meyers on all social, the podcast at the 500 Podcast. Email the podcast at 500podcast@gmail.com. Follow the Facebook group run by Crazy Evan. And for all things 500, go to the website, the500podcast.com. All right, nothing left to say, but here we go with number 108. Is that Bowie? It is me, David Bowie with Hunky Dory.
Yeah.
Oh, you Seth Green, who said, don't you know you fucking Seth and you're Seth and you're green. Got to make it green. It's actually, just about time to pick up the green phone. Oh, I planned that there. Thank you. You told him what he said. I wanted the green phone there, and you put it there. Thank God.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. This is so funny. Like,
I was really excited to get this record. I saw a different list of potential records, and I was like, I don't know.
What else would you have chosen?
It's hard. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's just a handful of albums that I spent a ton of time with that were really significant to me at the time that I experienced them, and this was one of them.
What are like the if you had like a fiver that you're like, all right, these are. Because mine are like, I say it all the time. Guns N' Roses, Stone Temple Pilots, Radiohead, OK Computer.
What was your favorite bands, you mean? Or just like specific records?
The thing is, I don't know if it's
because with Guns N' Roses, is it Appetite or Use Your Illusion?
No, it's Chinese Democracy, dude. I'm the one guy that likes Chinese Democracy.
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of tracks on Use Your Illusion that are undeniable. Yes. There's a lot of great stuff that they, like songs on Lies that will never be written like that again. You know 100%. What I mean? So I love Appetite, of course, but I love Guns N' Roses as a band. Like what they accomplished as a band. It's
amazing.
Yeah, it's undeniable.
So I look at records as like, my life was one way. I heard that record, my life was different. Yes. So like, OK Computer, I was, 18 years old. It was in college and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Did you order like Radiohead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved the Bends, but then my buddy was like, dude, you should check out OK Computer. Yeah. And then I heard that and it was like that moment. If you ever seen Imagine, the documentary by John Lennon, where the guy's like, the guy, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. But there's this like hippie dude that's living in like the Shire of John Lennon's like estate. And he's like, they go to like meet the guy and they're like, hey, so what are you fucking doing here? He goes, well, you wrote all the songs about me. And he goes, no, he's like, I'm writing about Yoko. It's about me or about, heroin, whatever I was doing. And he's like, oh, well, it felt like, boy, you got to carry that weight. He's like, look at him. I got this huge bag. And he's like, no, dude, so that's what I'm saying is like, there's like, I'm not saying Guns N' Roses Appetite spoke to me as a 7-year-old kid to be like,
to me, I was about
Queen.
13 or 14 when that record hit and just having like a redheaded lead singer. Cause I mean, Dave Mustaine, it's a different situation, but like Axl Rose was so charismatic, explosive. Those songs really spoke to me. The music spoke to me. And then seeing this guy, I was like, I think maybe I could swag like that. Like, look how much swag this skinny redheaded guy has.
Oh, that must feel so good to see a fucking ginger and just be like, oh my God, just killing it.
Well, this is going to sound really silly, but I felt the same way. I was 8 years old when I saw Purple Rain in the theaters.
Oh, wow.
And I felt that way about Prince. Like when I saw Prince, who was not a tall guy, he was like a skinny, weird dude. Like any way you cut it, this fucker is weird, but he's so talented.
Oh God, yeah.
So undeniably like exploding with music.
Yeah.
That everybody's like, yeah, he's fucking sexy. I was like, can I use that? Because I felt when I was very young, I felt all of my organic qualities obstacles because I thought I was aiming for something else. And then as soon as I realized what I was actually aiming for, I tried to use all of my God-given shit to my advantage.
Yeah.
And guys like Prince, guys like Axl Rose, like they spoke to me in that way. Bowie really felt so unrestrained in his creativity.
At a young age.
At a very young age.
So
and was so like crazy. Smart, sophisticated. Like he was so, and it's probably a product of growing up British, right? Because they're experiencing a very different kind of real-time history continuing to unfold itself. And a lot of the guys, like that record's 72, so they're coming out of like post-war. London just felt different than the US did. It felt more like the US post 9/11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like growing up in that way, as there's a same way that the US had a push at the end of the Second World War to like stabilize the society. They were like, hey, look, guys, just aim for a house and a job and a fence and your kids and a pet, and you'll be fine, guys.
Yeah.
I know you just witnessed the most crazy, destructive, horrific capabilities of human beings.
We all have PTSD, all right? Just everybody know that.
We're not going to unpack any of that. We're not going to worry about that. We got the bomb. Rest assured, everybody go back to work.
But
right?
here, go see The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's in the movie theaters right now. Is
right, because
okay?
aliens, we're just gonna soft pedal the alien thing until we feel like you're more comfortable with that idea. 2028 will probably tell you that it's all real. But for now, and that's it. You see Bowie like growing up against those kinds of structures. And it's only like 20, 30 years after a book like 1984 is written. So you see in songs like Life on Mars, right? The very concept of a society desensitized to violence and mistreatment against one another. Like that whole thing is about the sensationalism of our species and how we're sort of determined to be an audience rather than a participant.
I loved that you just said that, and you basically like summed up that song so perfectly, because for years, so off camera, this is what always happens every time we start talking and everybody's like, let's wait. And I recently learned, because I got a piano and I'm building a studio in my living room in New York. And so one of the songs I love is Life on Mars. And I'm like, I want to learn how to play that. And by learning how to play it, you finally have to like listen to the lyrics and like read the lyrics. Yeah. And I just always was like, okay, I know what he's saying, but I don't know what he's saying. Yeah. And you couldn't have summed that up perfectly, because it's so odd. It's like when you realize it's about fighting, and it's like,
well, but also the way it's summarized. He's like, the guys fighting in the dance hall. Look at those cavemen go, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that intellectuals always get down to is, what's the difference between us and apes, right? If we're descended from apes scientifically, what is the difference? We're ambulatory in a different way. We've learned how to speak and use tools and things like that. The communication is really the biggest thing. The way that we think, the way that we're able to express ourselves and communicate with one another. That's our largest superpower. But the idea that we're never so far from that like tribal chest beating paranoia, lashing out at one another, lashing out at your neighbors, instead of in your common enemy. That's the ultimate conditioning, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. I've always been attracted to those kinds of stories, whether it's like 1984 Sirens of Titan, any of these kind of. That's why Rage Against the Machine hit me so good, because they were just talking about it.
Sure,
they're just talking about it like out. I grew up in LA I came here in 91. And so I was a teenager for like Rodney King and the OJ trial, just like a not a race war, but like a real reckoning in Los Angeles of everyone's unconscious bias.
Sure.
Right. And there was a lot of like learning and healing that everybody needed to do. I grew up in Philadelphia and New York. And so there's no space for that. I was surrounded by black kids. Like there was no space to be like, I hate black people. There was just, this is your culture.
But you already had a lot of shit going on when you moved out here. So was it like, like your family that was like, all right, it's time to make the big move? I mean, because you'd already done like Radio Days and fucking, which by the way, is like one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Dude, I mean, it's get regular with relax.
Right.
I mean,
honey, one more time. You just need a little hit regular, a little bit sharper, please.
It's just, I think it's the same shit where it's like my dad schooled me on all the Woody Allen movies and Mel Brooks movies. Sure. And so Radio Days was like, when he went back to do his childhood type shit, it was always like, oh, I can connect with that on some kind of a level. Yeah. So like, I just, dude, I stole from my fucking synagogue just like you did. And they,
no way.
I mean,
did you get beat by your rabbi in the same way?
My parents probably.
Ken Mars kicked the shit out of me.
Did they really?
No, not really. Well, a little bit. I definitely got like physically abused on that movie. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, really?
Not like
anyone. Yeah.
Because everyone was reacting. Yeah.
I was like, oh, is this another Corey fucking Feldman thing? No, dude.
We have very different stories.
I can please.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all been touched by Charlie Sheen, though. I have.
All of my experiences with Charlie are so completely different than that. I've never had it, but I can't look. The biggest thing that I had to accept with things like even Danny Masterson, who was a very close friend of mine, and someone who I spent a tremendous amount of time with, and never witnessed anything like what he was ultimately convicted of.
Yeah.
And I had to accept the idea that people that we know as good guys are capable of doing bad things. And it's nothing that I would have ever seen. So it wasn't like I was in a position to do anything about it. But at some point you have to accept that duality exists, even in people that you feel you know very well.
Oh my God, yeah. But you've also like navigated, like you've really like come out of this whole like career, like, I mean, it's just the shit that you've done. Like, as I was going through all the research, it's just you've really like, especially now, like this third act is even the best part of it. It feels like.
Well, I try like the best thing about being as old as I am, and I also like never got caught up in drugs or spending my money, is that like we're fine. Everything's cool, and so I can focus on the things that I really want to do. I can work with the people that I'm really excited to work with. I can make the kind of stuff that I most feel needs to be made, or that I'm responsible for making. It takes forever. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, but honestly, like you've had such, like I said, an incredible career. Oh. So take me to you getting in with Bowie.
Yes. So
like take me, like, how did that start? Like, where did that come from?
How did that start?
How old are you? Because that's like, I got into it so much later. I mean, I knew like Space Oddity and Ziggy Stardust and shit like that, but it wasn't like really until later in life that I mean, Labyrinth is obviously like the first real introduction with Bowie.
Yeah.
But you, and this is the thing too, is like, you're what some would call Bowie-licious. I'm going through Fergalicious. It can't just be Fergie. It can be Bowie too.
Right.
Because you played David
you gotta
Bowie.
Put Gate on everything.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Dude. Isn't that funny? I got to play on, because Jeff Ross is a really good friend of mine, and he did the historic roasts, and they were going to roast Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And he had read somewhere a quote that I talked about Bowie. And he was like, "Would you play Bowie?" And I was like, "Yes." And the fucked up thing that I'm sad about, but nobody seemed to notice, is I had just had like a laser surgery on my because I had like
on your throat.
Yeah, on my throat, on my vocal folds.
Me too.
You're
I've had vocal cord surgery twice, dude. I just had a nasal procedure done.
I've had 2 different sinus things, and it's still.
Have you tried Vivair, this new thing?
No, but we'll talk offline.
We'll talk about it,
unless
dude.
they're a sponsor.
Proud sponsor Vivair. They're sponsoring the podcast.
Are they really?
No, not at all.
Well, then you shouldn't shout them out. Like, we can talk offline. Take it back.
Dr. Kaplan, though, New York City.
Reach out to me, Vivair.
Dude, it rules, dude. And once it heals, it's gonna rule.
Yeah, the healing, it's a nightmare. Yeah, I've had the two different sinus surgeries, and then I've had like 3 different vocal fold. It's insane. How did we get started on that? There was a point. Oh, so when I got to do that, the historic roast and play Bowie, my voice wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Sure.
Because I've always felt like I could do some version of him that's almost convincing.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't there.
You were like, "Hey, I'm David Bowie, everybody."
I was like somewhere in here trying to manifest, like, get a sound out.
But if he obviously, if he asks you to do it, you're a huge fan. You've talked about it. He knows it. So
yeah, I do. I don't want to like paint myself as a super fan, because there's so many blind spots, even in this record. Like, I didn't spend a lot of time with Quicksand, and I had to like study up on things like, is it Bruley Brothers or the Bewley Brothers? It's the last track.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah,
the
Bewley Brothers. So this track, like, it is, I don't know, man. If you really spend any time with this track, it feels like Fight Club. Right? Because he's talking about all of these madcap adventures. He's talking about being drawn into the darkness and the madness by this guy who is brother, a twin, someone he like recognizes and feels comfortable with. And the fun thing about it, when I first heard it, I thought it was before Fight Club even existed. And so the idea of having a mate, like the one who you can really confide in and confess all your deepest shit to, and they say, "I feel the same way," and encouraging each other to either act on it or not act on it. Like, what a fucking fascinating idea. And so it's even cooler. Like, when people talk to him over the years about this particular track. 10 years away from it, he was like, I don't know, I think maybe it was a little bit about my brother. And then like 20 years away, he was like, I really feel like this was sort of about chasing a ghost of a friend I once had that felt like a brother. And then even later, he was like, I can't even relate to the artist that wrote these words. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's been through so many different variations.
Yeah.
And he's written so much music that at a certain point, it's like, whether he's sober, on drugs, whether it's the Berlin stuff or this, it's like, I mean, he's just chucking out music and going into these characters.
Yeah.
But this is like an interesting one because this is like, before we get into the track, because that's fucking, I love that you brought up that song because I wrote like a whole thing about it.
You did too?
Oh, dude, I've got like all this shit. Like I'm going to compare your career to his career.
Oh,
we're going to go through what's important about the record.
Sure.
We're going to go through all the facts. You already kind of nailed what was going on in the world.
I can give you a couple of really deep things. So I got to make a movie when I was 8 years old with Nastasia Kinski, who was in a movie the year before called Cat People with David Bowie. Mm-hmm. So I was very aware of this guy, both as an actor, as an artist. My mom was like, I'll show you David Bowie, like played records of his, but I didn't get into Hunky Dory until I was like 16 years old. I moved out to LA by myself and I had a roommate who was just like, if it was today, you'd call him a hipster. But at the time, he was a student of all of these things. Like he knew literature, he knew music, and he encouraged me to like learn stuff. So I wound up reading everything from Dickens to Bukowski. Like I didn't get into college. You know what I mean? I had a lot of time on my hands because I was just auditioning or working when I was lucky. And I didn't want to get caught up in drugs or alcohol. Yeah. Like I come from a sober parent and I grew up in LA. So I saw everybody fucking blow it.
Was it because of your parents? Because my parents were straight too, but that's why I partied, because I was like, you guys are fucking boring.
The reason I didn't party is because I really wanted this job. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to do this as a career. And I know that's kind of insane to say, but I can't convince you except to say that was something I knew very young. And
was there a gig that kind of like showed it where it was like, oh, I can imagine working with someone like Woody. It's like, oh, this is a professional fucking.
By the time I was 12 and got to make that movie, I'd already made 6 features and I was so fucking determined to do this. Like I wanted to be, when I was very, very young, I got to work with people like Dick Cavett. Like, and I knew that it was a big deal. So I didn't come in there like, I'm going to show off for Dick Cavett. I'm like, what can you tell me? Show me how this works.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. Give this to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so at 16, I'd moved out. To answer your question, what motivated that? I'd been out to LA 3 summers in a row for pilot season. And it was just becoming apparent that for me to really audition, for me to have access, I had to be in town. They were less likely to fly me out for things than they were to cast me if I just showed up there. So I had a roommate, one of the kids that worked on It. We had all just made the Stephen King miniseries.
Oh yeah, dude! I bought that on iTunes.
Oh, you did?
Come on, dude!
That's so fun. So
it's the best one.
It's the year I turned 15, and the casting agent Victoria Burrows, who also cast like The Hobbit, she's incredible. She said to me, like, "This is it, dude. You got to move to LA. Like, I would put you in these kinds of things, but they won't. You got to be a local hire." And so I did, and I wound up moving out with a couple of those kids. And this was one of those records that my roommate, Jared, was like, this is the real record. I don't know, one of our friends had a guitar and they were playing like Ground Control to Major Tom. Mm-hmm. And he was like, have you listened to Hunky Dory? And I was like, oh yeah, with changes. He's like, we should listen to that record. So we just spent a bunch of time on it. The first time that I really got into changes was after I saw The Breakfast Club. Because he puts that quote right at the front of it. These children that you spit on as they go about their day, they're immune to your consultation, or is it confrontation? Because they're quite aware of what they're going through.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I always felt like I didn't fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But
I didn't feel like I fit in at all. My school, Philadelphia.
I mean, well, that must have been odd also being like when you're working and then because you're doing shit and then still living in Philly at a certain point.
Yeah.
And you're coming back and everybody's like, what the fuck, this fucking Daniel Day-Lewis over here.
Even though he hadn't
really done anything
the
yet.
Michael Jackson Bad video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude.
It's That's what it felt like. Every time I came home with like some new piece of clothing and I felt really cool. Yeah, I bought this new members only jacket in Montreal, and they were like, "Fuck you, fucking jacket in the mud. I pissed on your shit.
Don't listen to your weird
Never
music.
Grow." You know,
Dude.
it's like brutal.
I remember there was a guy I was at a bar mitzvah, and he played Jeremy in the Jeremy Pearl Jam video.
Incredible.
And I've never been more jealous of somebody in my life. I was like, I'm the talented person in this bar mitzvah.
Don't you remember that though? Like how unimaginable an idea it was that a boy would come into school and kill himself in front of everybody, which is the plot of the Jeremy video, and theoretically the message of the song is don't kill yourself.
It's true. Great song though.
It was, yeah. That whole moment was so great. It just like it predated Columbine. And so
I know. I don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Dude, they were so ahead of their time. It's like,
well, it's just whenever we cross these thresholds culturally, that just those ideas are out there. Which, to bring it back, is why a record like this is so important.
Yeah,
because so many of the songs were putting a mirror up to a culture, a society, like a human being that was not noticing itself. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the I think it's his third record. Let me just double check that math.
This is the one I remember reading because I did a little bit of research, and they said they put Changes out as a single, and it tanked. it tanked. And so this record, it was mildly critically lauded, but it didn't travel, and it didn't the single didn't blow up. So it wasn't until later releases that people discover this record.
Yes.
It's almost like the Paul's Boutique of Bowie's career.
That's a good one. This is because Ziggy comes out after this. So this is like the transitional period of him. This is basically the sound of the future legend realizing he can be anything. He can be a cabaret alien, an art school poet, paranoid prophet, doting dad, bisexual glam oracle, or a guy at a piano quietly trying to outright the entire 1970s before lunch. And I think
there was something really fun because it's just stripped down music. It's a lot of piano. It's a lot of acoustic guitar. It's a lot of just raw vocals.
And the other record before that, have you listened to the record before this, The Man That Sold the World? Yeah,
it's got a lot of music.
Yeah, it's a little bit heavier. So this is kind of like where I think Bowie is stopped merely being promising and becoming Bowie.
It's funny because I didn't, and it's arrogant to have said, I just didn't even realize this. I hadn't looked through the entire list to see what was the agreed upon most important records.
Yeah.
And I was excited. I was like, oh, this is on that list.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think it's really meaningful.
What, this record?
Yeah.
Well, on the 500 greatest albums list?
Yeah.
Well, this is actually, we're doing the 2012 list. So this is it actually drops down into the 80s.
Holy shit.
So the new one, it's ranked a little bit lower. I talked to my buddy Morty, who helps me write the show. And
Rick's nephew. Yeah. What?
It is Rick's nephew. Yeah,
I think it's his grandson.
I do. It's
right.
It's him. Moses Lack helps me. The Morty would always say that when Bowie would put out a record, it was an event. And this is where it's starting to become that, I think. Because Ziggy is obviously where it becomes, this becomes like...
It's his Igor.
Yes. So we already talked about what was going on in the world. With Bowie, let's get him here. So he breaks through first. So he spent the 60s moving through mod, pop, theatrical, novelty phases, learning the hard way that talent and immediate stardom are not the same thing. He breaks through with Space Oddity in 69, makes Invisible but not yet stable as an artist, followed up by the record before this, The Man Who Sold the World in 70, heavier, darker, hard-rocking record, stylistic turn, but around this period, he was still hustling for the right presentation, band chemistry, label support, finds RCA to give him the bigger platform. There's a 6-song demo that helped secure RCA, showing he had moved towards stronger songwriting and more distinctive voice. He marries Angela and the birth of their first son in 71, which is directly...
That's where Kooks comes from.
And Oh, You Pretty Things, which, by the way, is one of his most underrated songs.
Is it?
I mean, for me, so...
You don't think enough people talk about it?
The reason it sticks out to me is like... It's the same reason when I didn't get to explain why I love Life on Mars. I love Life on Mars because of fucking Watchmen. When they did the HBO thing and Trent Reznor and Atticus cover it at that last scene. And it's it was just enough for me to be like, oh my God, that is Life on Mars.
Yeah.
And then just me like, oh my God, I love this song. And then getting the piano and learning how to play it. Oh, You Pretty Things, 08, there was a show on Santa Monica and Seward, which is a huge place it's called the Unknown Theater. It was like where my whole career basically started. And there was guys that ran the theater. They partied a little bit. Oh, and
they ate a lot of sugar cereal.
They did a lot of they just ate a lot of cereal.
They're all hopped up on fucking tricks, man.
Why do you think we got the boxes up there, dude? We're trying to
get those rabbits locked up, and they just eating it,
bro. It was. Well, I know you've probably met these people where it's like, the guy that's like, listen, man, I just love people creating, and I love stuff art, and so we do the comedy show, and then there'd be like people doing like painting over here, and then there's like
everybody's trying to be Warhol.
Everybody's. It's like it's its own little factory. But he had this guy, Kyle, who was kind of like helped around the theater, and he put that song on. And he's an actor and a thespian, and he did this whole dance. It wasn't even a dance. It was just like this pre-planned thing where it was like as he's singing the song and mouthing the lyrics, and when it hits with the "Oh, you pretty things," he does this like thing with like, driving me crazy. And it's always stuck with me, but it made me be like, wait, what is that song? And then I went back, and that's when I first started really digging into this record.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, I love
that song. That's definitely an access point, because it is such a like carelessly defiant song. It's like, you can fight. This is happening. Yeah. Life is changing. The world is changing. We are different, and you fucking deal with it. Like there was, I don't know. I love that song, and it's got so much silliness to it. You know what I mean? For something so potentially serious.
But it's just such an easy song to like. There's so many. Like, I'm not saying nothing on this record is a hard listen. This is all very, very easy to digest.
Do you think it's like really easy to miss the depth of it because it's such a pop song?
I would have never thought it was about him having a kid.
Sure, that Third Eye.
I thought it was about a girl.
There's that Third Eye Blind song that nobody would think is about crystal meth and anal sex, but there it is.
How's it gonna be?
No, it's the.
I know.
Well, yeah, Taylor Swift had a lot to say on that single,
dude.
Just misquoting anybody.
Third Eye Blind, they're doing great.
Are they? I haven't kept up with them in a while.
I mean,
the way that track got misused in almost every summer movie trailer was so funny to me. Oh, it was as funny as when
it was the do part. No,
it was the do.
It's the do. That's what because me and Big J Okerson, we have all those songs that were in every trailer in the 90s. Yes. It's like, Tim's having a bad day.
I feel good.
Look into your life, pretty baby, is it everything? We did Bumbershoot, and Third Eye Blind was on the bill. And so we were like, let's go fucking check them out.
Yeah.
Dude, they murdered.
Of course.
Murdered.
No one said they're a shitty band.
That's true. And I don't know why I insinuated that.
It's really just the fact that song got, and they were like, I'm going to cash these checks. Like, I can't blame them. It was just really funny. It's when things like that get played on culture, and it's like nobody checked the lyrical content of this song. There was a point where the Golden Globes, Pink had that song, Raise Your Glass. And the song is all about celebrating your unapologetic freakishness.
Yeah.
She even says, we will never be anything but dirty little freaks. And that's over like Tom Hanks. It was like all the people at the Golden Globes. And I just thought that was so funny.
Well, everybody's been doing Born in the USA wrong for fucking years. Like all the Republicans take that and they're like, yeah, it's just like pro-America. You're like,
it's really? Actually like a really tragic anti-war anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
this is fun. I heard that like everybody that likes music has already come on this show and talked about it. Dude, I like talking about music.
I'm so happy you're doing this. I'm so happy. By the way,
have you had Elijah on here? Elijah Wood?
No, but I'm trying to get him for Radiohead. Isn't he a huge radio? Because the Benz is coming up right after this.
I bet Radiohead's like high on his list. Yeah, he's an audiophile and he just knows so much about so many different.
Really?
Yeah, so many different bands. You know who else is really into music is Compliment. Do you know Brian Koppelman at all?
Yes, he did. We follow each other because he did Billions.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
Rounders. And discovered Tracy Chapman.
Yes. Yeah, back when A&R was a necessary thing.
Mm-hmm. Which was funny because remember we did the Tracy Chapman episode. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I get the record. And then I had all right, don't hate me.
I don't hate you. I'm just surprised because that record, I heard that record, fuck, it was the year it came out. I had the privilege. I got to go, it was before I did it, but the same year that I turned 14 or 15. And I got to go to the Amnesty International benefit. It was this massive concert that had, I shit you not, Joan Baez, Peter Gabriel, Bruce Springsteen, Sting. It was...
Was this the one in Wembley?
No, it was in, I don't know, LA maybe? It could have been in Philadelphia. But Tracy Chapman was on the bill. And it was like, I love music so much. Getting to see a live concert of that caliber, it was like life-changing.
Sure.
It made me just chase going to see any band. Anytime I liked a track on it, I'm like, I'm gonna go see this artist. And in LA, that was so possible.
Sure. Well, it's funny about the Tracy thing was that I didn't. So it's really just the way this podcast is like sequenced because we're doing that list and I don't skip a week. And so some weeks I'm not in the mood to listen to like, coffee, back room, like slow folk music. And that's kind of like where I think I was going into it. Or like, And then I had the guy that shot her cover and did the music video, Matt Moran, I think his name.
Oh, sure. He did Fast Car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then having him and my buddy, David. He writes for Rolling Stone. He wrote on my TV show.
It's a G, right?
Yeah.
David G.
Don't hate me. He's been on the show twice. We'll look it up later. Look for it, engineer guy, if you can remember. Big ups to the engineer guy, dude. We don't have you looking up shit right now. Moral of the story
He's really enjoying this conversation.
Dude, the moral of the story is this, is that when I'm not in the mood for it and then I have the guest on and then they talk about it, because the whole time they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Like this is XYZ. And then that night I re-listen to Fast Cars and I'm like quietly sobbing at the gym. And I think it's the same thing with Life on Mars, where it was like, I didn't, I'd always heard it, but now I know the lyrics and now I'm paying attention to it. And I think
sometimes it just hits you, man.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. That's my favorite thing about music is that it doesn't really need a language. I remember when Gangnam Style came out.
So you united the country, dude.
Well, it was also, I think it was whatever show Joe McHale was hosting at the time, they posted, sometimes you don't need to understand to understand. And I was like, this is one of the greatest clips I've ever seen, this song. And I just sent it to like 25 people. When you feel it, everybody can feel it.
Oh yeah.
You can tell when it's William Hung or it's Kelly Clarkson. Like you can tell the difference.
Yeah, but William Hung put so much into it, dude.
Of course. And there is a specific award for spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not often a Grammy.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a Razzie. What would be the music Razzies?
I don't know. I mean, the ticket sales.
Is Hung selling tickets?
Those checks still cash, even if it's ironic, right? I'll never forget that when everybody bought the DVD of R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet.
Oh yeah.
And R. Kelly didn't know that it was mostly like white hipsters who were like, I can't believe this exists, and we're gonna watch this together for Christmas. R. Kelly was like, I'm Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The checks cash, even if the purchase was ironic.
Oh, R. Kelly. Why'd you have to fucking do all that, dude?
Why did he have to like start a cult and imprison a bunch of underage girls? I have no idea.
Who knows, dude?
I'm glad it was prosecuted.
Just write music, dude.
Jesus Christ,
just stick to your music. That's why I love Bowie. Do you know why I love Bowie? This is why I love Bowie. It's like, dude, he never got in trouble. He got in trouble, but he never got really in trouble.
Yeah, but wasn't he busted for like bringing weed in the country or something simple like that?
It.
Yeah,
but he's just it's just like
he never beat his wife in an elevator.
No, he just was like, you know what I love even more is before we get into the tracks and stuff, is like the later stage Bowie when he did that episode. I mean, for fun, Labyrinth.
Yeah,
like big ups to him to do that
when he went on extras
too. But he's just, dude, he's had not only a great music career, but his acting chops is like working with Nolan early on with fucking The Prestige and like I said, Labyrinth, which probably his people were like, what are you talking about, dude? And the songs Or, Magic Dance? Go fuck yourself.
I will. Look, I know this is going to be very controversial.
Take me there.
Well, I have a hard swath through nerdcore, and Labyrinth, similar to The Last Unicorn, is revered in a lot of ways. There's a lot of controversial shit in that movie. Not the least of which is Bowie's tight pants.
Oh, the Bowie bulge?
Bowie's tight pants, while handling that baby, has always been a little troubling to me. I'm not implying
you're not wrong.
anything. The baby, there's a lot of problems.
That's a Jim Henson issue, dude. That's a Frank Oz, Jim Henson. They should
we
have
finally got him, didn't we?
Dude. God damn it. Oh, if you were alive, Jim Henson, we'd throw your face in the coals, dude.
But even like, I don't know, like but you're right though, because like him in scenes with Tim Curry, right? Like Tim Curry's revered as one of the greatest actors alive, and Bowie's toe to toe. You know what I mean?
What is that like? Because I mean, obviously you're so young when you did it, and you're working with someone like Tim Curry. Did you have any idea about Rocky Horror Picture Show and like know that like you were? I forget you were like, because you're like, you have an old soul, so you probably were already 40 when you were 8.
I'm like a kid that really wanted to sing and dance for audiences, and so when I found out, I think I was 13 years old when my friend who lived in New Jersey, we found out that at the Cherry Hill Mall every Saturday they did Rocky Horror. And I didn't know what Rocky Horror was, except that I had like heard about it in New York. I knew it was a thing where everybody dressed up. I knew it was a thing where everybody like talked to the screen.
Yeah.
And so the first time I went there with my buddy, I didn't know what we were in for.
And you're how old? 13.
13. And when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I found my people. Because this is so weird. It's a movie, but it's also kind of a bad movie. But they also like made this movie and pulled it off, which anybody who's attempted to make a movie knows. It's the impossible. You're doing the impossible to make a movie. And also there were like teenage girls in their underwear in person. And I was like, this feels like the craziest hack. I'm allowed to eat popcorn while I'm watching this show. This just felt crazy to me.
They're shouting at the movie, the screen and shit too.
Well, everyone's performing live.
I know.
Like, and before you know it, you're like, I want to be a part of this. Like, I'll wear the makeup. I'll put the cape on. Like, I'll come out and say the fucking thing.
Have you dressed up? I
did a Frankenfurter one time.
Ooh.
It was more for Halloween than for like an actual performance.
It's a dream of mine to be Dr. Frankenfurter. Oh my God.
We did like a staged reading during COVID of the whole thing, and had Tim Curry on it, and it was really like one of the cool. I got to play Riff Raff. And it was just like, I don't know, one of the coolest things ever.
So what was that?
I loved him. I loved him. I was like so deep into Tim Curry. I'd already seen him in a bunch of
like
stuff.
Clue.
But knew him as like a character actor.
Yeah, of course.
Knew him from shit like Labyrinth, and knew him from things like Rocky Horror, but it was Tim fucking Curry. So obviously Rocky Horror was hugely influential to me, but I was excited about this guy who'd already played the devil playing this devil clown. And I just wanted to hang out with him. But I also I'd gotten to work with enough implied heroes to know that you can't be that guy.
Yeah.
You got to come to work every day intending to do your work. And we're all professionals there. Even if you're 15 years old, like, you better know your lines and hit your mark and not make your co-star uncomfortable by asking him to sign your Rocky Horror shirt. Like, you can't do that shit. You just can't.
Do you get to, does he break character, or is he trying to keep that illusion of being?
He never like stayed in the clown.
No, I don't think you would be like, pass the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. So I was arriving on set one day, and as we're going, they're like, hey, we're gonna pick up Tim from set. And I was like, oh no. I looked down, I'm realizing I'm wearing a literal Rocky Horror shirt.
Fuck off.
That a friend of mine got on his birthright trip to Israel. It's the lips, but it's all in Hebrew. I was like, this is cool, guys. And
Rocky Horror Mishmacha.
Kind of. And so like the door opens, and I was trying to like sneak out and be like, have a great day, Tim. He's like, oh, welcome to work. Oh. And I saw he was like, nice shirt. And I was like, yeah, love you.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have gotten a kick out of that though.
He's been impossibly generous and kind to me over the time that we've known each other.
God bless him, dude.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about some of the tracks?
Sure.
I got some fun questions to
Let's
ask
hear
you
it.
about that. And then we're going to go through, and I want you to start thinking about your career, the rough parallel between your career and Bowie career.
That I would never make that parallel.
No. Well, I did. And I feel okay with it. I feel okay with it.
There's so many fun things on this record too. Like he just trails off on a bunch of them. Do you know what I mean? They just like the song clearly ends and then they'll just be like a little end.
I love the sequencing on this record. I think this is actually, I think the way you open with Changes and closing with the Boulay Brothers, I love the placement of Oh You Pretty Things, but like to open with Changes, which is arguably one of the bigger hits probably on this. This is the first single released with Andy Warhol on the B-side. Bowie said it began as a parody of a nightclub song, which is hilarious given that it became one of his signature manifestos. It opens a record by announcing Flux itself as the mission statement. Bowie also said songs like this and Life on Mars were written on piano, which helps explain the theatrical chord-rich feel. I mean, I love the hook. It's basically like the thesis for what Bowie's whole career is going to be, to open up with this. And it's kind of like, this is because it's this record is so different than the one before it.
Yeah.
And then the one before it. And then this record is like the next record after this was Ziggy Stardust is so fucking different.
It's a little Monty Python, like just and now for something completely different.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my God.
That's the thing about him being British is there's such a nonchalance to, well, now we're doing this. And we'll do this just as well and as intentionally as everything before it.
What would you say would be like your changes? Was there like a moment in your career where you had your like changes moment?
Yeah.
Because you've had, like I said, you've had child actor, you've had like teenage icon, and then you've had like going on to doing voice work and working with Robot Chicken and Family Guy and XYZ. So you've had these different eras. Like where do you think the biggest change came?
It was when it was between 12 and 16, because
puberty.
It was the most growth I was gonna have. It required me uprooting everything that was familiar. I stopped looking like all of the characters I had cornered the market playing as a child, and was clearly not gonna grow tall enough to compete in this particular category. And so rather than curse myself, I looked at the actors that really inspired me, and they were all the character actors. They were all the people that sometimes were the lead in something, but more often were like a critical element of an ensemble or a supporting player whose character was so fucking complicated that it challenged the main character's whole arc. And I was like, I think I just aim for that.
Yeah.
That's what got me the most excited. So I started doing silly shit. I started by growing my hair out when I was about 14 years old. I started letting my hair grow out.
I remember it.
And then when I made it was such a bummer because I had gotten this like great long hair. And then they were like, well, you need a flat top. So it was just a flat top crew cut. But it's acting, right? Like you look at what actors go through. And that was the other thing I was becoming comfortable with, was the idea that I'm not going to organically look like the characters I want to play. And I have to be willing to actually alter myself enough to believably be this character. And I also want to not long to play characters that nobody would believe me playing. Like, I think that's unhealthy. So that's when I went through like the most significant changes. I started doing I just didn't listen to anybody. My agent and manager were like, don't dye your hair. And I was like, I think I'm gonna dye my hair. And they were like, don't.
What color would you have dyed it? Like,
well, I did. I bleached it like almost white blonde. It was like down to here. It looked fucking crazy. I just looked crazy. But then I showed up in commercial auditions or like guest stars on MTV shows, and I just looked like the youth in America.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, I was showing up at the concert, me with my hair dyed blue and my friend's hands dyed blue. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of where we were living. And I just decided that was going to be okay. And there's clearly stuff that I didn't audition for wholeheartedly bringing that forceful of a persona. But I I started feeling more comfortable not trying to be exactly like everybody else.
Because they were probably like trying to just pigeonhole you into the same thing.
Nobody knows what to do with anybody.
Yeah, but they know what works, and your agent's like, sure, he keeps booking this shit.
They're like, we like this commodity because he's been able to be successful in this area.
What was the first role that you feel like you were like, fuck yeah, this was different?
The day after I dyed my hair, I got booked on an MTV show, and it was the funniest thing. Everyone was furious. I was just like, I dyed my hair, and they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going on these auditions, and I booked that fucking job. And so it was really encouraging for me that I could trust my gut sometimes. Not that you don't take the advice of professionals.
Sure.
Not that you don't take the advice of the people you are employing on your behalf.
But you know.
But there's moments where I'm the one in those rooms. I'm the one that's like reading these lines.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many, you know, I can't tell you how many instances, especially with stand-up comedy, where it's like, oh, I don't fit the thing that everybody, I'm different. And if I was more like them, like Sam Morril, or more like this guy, I could be more successful. But it's like, just keep, it might take longer, but you know, just you plug along. And it's like, but you know, especially you're already working. And then it's like you just can't be. I mean, it's Nike. I know you said earlier, it's like, no, does the check cash? Yes. But it's like also.
No, it's disheartening though. Cause I was putting up like 1 in 30. You know what I mean? Through that period of time, it was a lower time. I had to really adjust where I was going to be working.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. All right. Oh, you pretty things. We already kind of mentioned this one. This may be the oldest original song on the record. First released by Peter, I'm going to fuck the name. Noon. God damn it. Look that up, dude, because I'm going to fuck it up. Some 50-year-old guy in my basement is going to fucking, not my basement. That sounded creepy. In his basement is going to get mad at me.
You keeping old producers in your basement?
I do. We have young and
like a
old.
Workshop.
There's a couple guys that follow along that I feel are going to murder me.
It's like one of those computer scam houses, except you guys are just still making music.
Dude, this is actually we're just like funneling money from the Nigerian mob.
Oh,
this is very much like Publishers Clearinghouse.
That's the best thing about cryptocurrency is all the money laundering.
God damn it! Don't bring up crypto, dude.
Okay,
don't bring up crypto.
Forget I said it.
Come on, Trump! I thought I bet on you.
Who?
That guy, the president guy,
the blonde girl, the one who's married to Jared Kushner.
No, the other one. Melania,
her dad,
the one who doesn't know how to cuss properly. Melania said, Donald, do you want to make fuck tonight? We made fuck 19 years ago when we created our giant son.
Donald, you mean the duck from the Mickey's Clubhouse?
God damn, dude. Have you been living under a rock, man? That's how busy you are?
Life on Mars, my man.
That's how busy you are. What do you got? Oh, Naoon. Fuck yeah, it is.
You know, Peter Naoon.
Oh, dude. Well, dude, he's definitely put together the who's who of rock and roll.
So is this true? Did they release changes under Herman's Hermits?
I don't fucking know. Hold on for a second. No. That's the other shit he did.
Oh, okay.
No, he clicked on the guy.
Oh, now he's got something else happening.
So
I do love that when you put in Bowie, the first thing is not David Bowie, it's Bowie Knife. We definitely live in America, guys.
Is that true? Put in Bowie. Nope, there you go.
Oh, okay. David Bowie is just above Bowie Knife.
Well, when I put in Bowie, I go for the knife, obviously, because I'm a knife guy. But cool stuff about Oh You Pretty Things. It mixes domestic nerves. I'm going to fuck this word up. Nietzschean sci-fi imagery about a coming race. In other words, a nursery rhyme written by a man who also seems to believe the baby may be an elegant alien upgrade, which I love. It's basically parenthood as evolutionary body horror, which is so Bowie.
You got to make way for the Homo superior.
Oh, dude. So on Family Guy and Robot Chicken, you spent years helping shape comedy for generations that grew up on total media overload. When you look at your younger comedy audience now, do they feel like the coming race, like smarter, faster, and more reference-addled? Or do they just have better Wi-Fi and the same emotional damage?
That's so funny, the context of that question, because I don't think that there definitely seems to be a real attention deficit. And we were highly conscious of that. Third year Robot Chicken, I said to my partner, I'm like, I think we're like actively diminishing the attention span of our audience by having such quick hits. But what we really realized was that it's the sophistication of the audience that had bypassed our need for these kinds of setups. It's the same way that over, 20 years, everyone's become so comfortable with the concept of a superhero origin story that becomes its own colloquialism, right? Like, you don't need to know that Spider-Man got bit by this shit. You're like, I get it. It's a bug and now he's got spider powers. So in the same way, I think it's more a product of the audience getting far more sophisticated. There's that I forget what the test, how it actually was conducted, but it's like an ape test, right? Or orangutans. And they put the one orangutan in the thing, and there's two buttons. The one button gives him a treat, the other button gives him a shock.
Oh,
right? And so then they introduce a second orangutan. And that second orangutan needs to go see for himself. Even the other guys go, yo, don't touch that button. The second guy needs to touch the treat button and get shocked by the fucking shock button. By the time a third one comes in, the two of them are like, hey, don't touch that button. It's going to get you a shock. Touch this button. It's going to get you a treat. And then they keep adding orangutans. And they keep teaching each other that this is the way we do it, so much so that they turn off the electric shock.
Yeah.
And no one will touch it, even though it doesn't do the thing anymore. It's crazy. We just become conditioned to kind of accept stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That we're told is happening.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I also think that, I mean, I don't know, like, how... it was like that whole, like, is like, we mentioned Columbine earlier, but it's like, did Columbine happen because of Eminem? Did it happen because of that? Did it have Marilyn Manson? It's like, no, it's like, did the dumbing down of America come from the animation or the
pop.
quickness? No, I don't think so at all.
It's from the actual gutting of public education across the country. Like, that's the active dumbing down of our society. It's the reduction of the presence of any kind of STEAM shit in your school. It's like the actual adjustment of your historic texts. Like, over time, there's a very intentional, aggressive dumbing down of a particular sect of our culture that seems unimpervious to those kinds of influences. So, this is the thing I hated the most. When Columbine happened, everybody was coming after the video games and the music. And Chris Rock, I think, was the first person to say, whatever happened to crazy?
Yeah.
Like, these kids, what rap music was Hitler listening to?
Yeah.
Was he really into Call of Duty? Because it didn't seem to lessen his desire to murder other people and
man. I feel like doing some violence when I hear some Wagner. You know what I mean? Some real good German classical bullshit.
I take no responsibility for the dumbing down of the culture. If anything, I think that I'm paying forward some of the lessons that I got from the things that influenced me, from Monty Python's Flying Circus to Saturday Night Live. It was all intellectually aspirational comedy.
Yeah.
The most it does is make folly of the inherent silliness of human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I also feel like I also, not to cut you up, but I also feel like it's like now it's such a clear cut thing where it's like, it is the social media and the people, like, removing all the fucking guardrails so you can pretty much post anything and you can find anything. And it's like, it's not the music. It's not, it's our government. It's every little thing, but it's like, it's really being proven now just how much of social media is just like, I mean, it's
shaping the conversation in a way. It's shaping the global conversation because it's the closest thing that we have to like a central source of information. And as a result, it feels like whatever you see practiced on these platforms, like the way that people talk to each other, you know what I mean? That exploded so quick. It went from people reaching out and being like, oh my God, I tweeted with Wayne Newton. So all of a sudden you're like, I told Wayne Newton to fuck off. Yeah. And somehow that became the goal. They were like, gosh, I don't get as many likes. It's almost like they followed the program of the news, right? There was a point where the news stopped reporting the news and they were just showing you people blowing up or car accidents. They were like, the literal, if it bleeds, it leads. Right. So they're just trying to get ratings. And at some point you as the audience recognize you're the product, and this is all clickbait, and it's actually shaping the way you feel every day. You open up your phone and you scroll past something that's like somebody lip syncing a dance to like a picture of a really cute puppy being born to like, oh, there's an immigrant being dragged behind a truck on the sidewalk, and oh, here's somebody a vet coming home to his daughter.
Yeah.
And here's enemy combatants being blown up with mortar fire.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think that we as a people, we're not built for this. A lot of people are experimenting with the idea. A couple countries are experimenting with the idea of social media being 18 and up.
Oh, yeah.
It's, it's humbling to remember we're still in the beta of any of this shit, right?
Dude,
like we're less than 20 years. We get to experience it firsthand.
We lucked out, dude. We lucked out. We were right there, dude. We had that whole pre-life without it, and then we got it in the 20s.
Yeah.
Like a really so awkward areas. Like I learned how to drink by that point. You know what I mean? I already went through Molly and my rave, period. So it's like to get it where we got it, like I couldn't imagine being a kid.
Well, it's also so juvenile and innocent at that point. Like it's when I got on the internet, it was just like listservs and email.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was insane. Like that was insane that I didn't have to send a handwritten letter.
And
then you just sound like an elderly person, even though this is less than 30 years ago.
I know. And then also your whole household shut down, no phone line, no nothing, because you took it over because you wanted to download one song on Napster that took 5 hours.
God, by the time that happened, I'll say it just because it sounds like a flex. And by the time that happened, I was living by myself and I was paying my own bills. So I was just like, I just kept that shit plugged in all day.
Oh, good for you, dude. Yeah, dude. We had one computer and that was it. But also, bringing it back to Family Guy. And I mean, if I remember, because, I remember when The Simpsons came out, and which is it's so PG compared to, but they thought Bart was bad.
You just have to remember the time. Like The Simpsons came out after Married with Children.
Yes.
And Married with Children was so bold that they were talking about things like erectile dysfunction. They were doing it cleverly through coded words, but this is still like earlier, actually it's like mid to end of the 80s. And the TV just hadn't progressed. What really changed it, I think, was obviously cable. Right. So cable becomes a premium market where they're not going to censor the 7 dirty words. But then once you've got the internet, the ratings, they're just pulling off of these terrestrial networks. And so the networks are like, what are we going to do? We need to swear. We need to show asses on NYPD Blue. We need to show side boob in the 10 o'clock hour to try and get anybody interested.
That's so funny. That's so true. I remember that. Dude, there's a butt cheek in NYPD Blue.
For real. But it starts with saying like bitch on television. And then before you know it, you see just like a little bit of cock flap in a shadow. You know what I mean? Like everyone's pushing.
There's not enough. Bring back cock flap.
Shadowy cock flap.
Oh, please. Yeah. Not just on Cinemax and HBO.
It's not just for HBO.
Come on, AMC. Step your game up, dude.
For real. We need a Walking Dead shadowy cock flap.
I couldn't take the fact that that was why I got out of The Walking Dead is because they finally started cussing around season 2 and 3. Because the whole first season, it was like, they freaking zombies. You're like, it's a fucking zombie. Just it's like, Jiminy Crickets. Like, the zombie. What the frick? It's like, nah, dude, just fucking say fuck because that's what's going to come out of your mouth. And, and more cock flap. Zombie cock flap, too.
Andy Lincoln still owes us a shadowy cock flap.
Dude. Are they doing a new iteration of it? Come on, dude. Get
that's
your cock flap
that's
out,
your
dude.
pull quote right there.
Do you think this
double bold slug line?
Do you think fucking
Andy Lincoln owes us shadowy cock flap?
I'm looking at you, Andy.
Can you clip that for me?
Please
that's
put that
definitely
out.
what
That's going out under the fucking the mainframe. No, but it's just, there's the evolution of what was like risque in 89. And like you said, Married with Children, which is so funny because I just went to their little town hall thing.
I did too.
Did you go to it? The Wiltern?
Yeah, because this is so funny, man.
You were there too? Dude, I
was really excited to get to share it, man. I've known those folks for a very long time. Like this sounds dumb, but I was shooting Facts of Life on the Gower stage while they were making the second season of Married with Children and Who's the Boss? And so just when you're kids and you're working on a fucking lot, like you're teen actors, you're just so excited to see other kids that are doing it. And especially because I knew Alyssa and she was actually doing the thing. So I got to, Dave and I met each other. We're both like short kids too, constantly mistook for one another. Really? I can't tell you how many times in my career people have been like, yo, Bud Bundy.
No.
So much so that when Dave did a show for Sony called Starving. Okay. And it was him and Corey Nemec. And he did like a reunion, got everybody, Ed and Katie and Christina, everybody together. And the whole idea was like, we're doing a reunion. We're rebooting the Bundys. And they go around the table and introduce everybody and start reading the script. And when it gets to Bud Bundy's line, they suddenly reveal that I'm there and I'm reading the lines. And Dave starts reading the line at the same time. And he's like, whoa, what? I go, oh shit, Dave, nobody told you? I'm doing it. And so we just, I don't know, it's very silly, but it's like a loop close. Boy, what a tangent. I'm sorry.
No.
Way off topic.
But that's what I'm saying is like, it's what's considered risque back then is so tame now. I mean, but Married with Children still push the limits a little bit. But it's like
we're a culture born of like swim dresses. You know what I mean? We're not so far from the Crusades, right?
I know, you're not wrong, dude. A girl showed her ankle back in the fucking 1920s or
shut the whole goddamn. Cut those legs off. Yeah. It's only fair.
Dude, see a little ankle. No, but it's also then you have, just the idea of like where Family Guy is gone, and then even South Park, which has taken it to a place, but it's like, is it because something like there are these kids saying it on South Park where it's like, oh, it's okay, even though there's adults that are behind the voices?
Yeah, South Park is. Do you mean like why is South Park so effective?
No, I just was saying like where we were still talking about the idea of like not the dumbing down or like the shortening of this, but it's like where I was saying Simpsons was offensive back in '89 because they were like, you can't Bart's eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts.
Like, that's like nothing now. That's like that's so vanilla. And then you have like South Park, like fucking the episode with the Paris Hilton slut off, and he's like,
God,
he throws her in her ass, and then she goes on an adventure with Lemmy Winks. I mean, it's crazy.
It is.
It's like you get something
Lemmy
like that.
Winks deserves to be a king. That's the thing. Like when you go through those kinds of struggles.
Yeah, dude. But it's like, did you find that with anything from with Family Guy? Have you guys gotten a lot of pushback from that? Or
the upside about that show is I can always claim ignorance because I'm just an actor on the show. And so whatever they write, I'm always like, sorry, whoever. And if it's somebody that I know, I'll ask not to make the joke in the booth. I'm like, we're going to run into each other. Please don't make me say this about Hugh Jackman. Like, there'll be a moment where we run into each other. He's so much bigger than me. Don't make me say that.
Has there been a joke that you
there's been like a handful of times. I can't remember off the cuff, but it was always like a joke about a particular person. I'm like, I'm going to see them this weekend, and please don't make me say this.
Hilarious.
It was.
I love that. All right, Life on Mars. Let's talk about this one. This is one of Bowie's masterpieces. Built partly out of the ghost of his abandoned My Way rewrite history. Bowie called it a sensitive young girl's reaction to the media. In an earlier note, specifically to songs like My Way, movies like Love Story, and newspapers, it was recorded in the final Hunky Dory session on August 6, 71, and became a major hit when released in 73. Yeah, I mean, Mark Ronson's string arrangement in it is just fucking incredible. I love the satire like we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
The media nausea. I mean, it's such a great trick to like making alienation sound gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's also like that the encouragement of the audience, like, don't you realize you're doing it? And of course it feels horrific. It feels dystopic, but that we're really winning now. You know what I mean? It's so fucked up.
What is it? I mean, if this is one of the few hits off of the record that I do when I do the podcast and we do an album that it's like, I can't get enough. I could listen to this over and over and over. Whereas certain songs, I'm like, all right, I'll skip over that because I've heard it so much.
Yeah.
Like Changes, once I listened to the record all the way through, I was like, I've heard that before. It's a great song. What is it about this? Is it about the substance when, like I said, once you understand what it's about, that makes it even that much more special? Is it the chord progression for you? Is it the melody? Like, what is it that sticks out for you for a song like this, and like why it's like has such lasting effect and become one of his like staples?
For me, it all just feels so intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that there's always something new left for you to discover, even if it wasn't something that he consciously embedded. There's so much thought and feeling into every moment of that song. Like none of it is careless. None of it feels accidental. Like, I love Nirvana. Nirvana's like one of my favorite bands. They made a lot of great records, but they would be the first ones to say, sometimes we would just like, I don't know, I'd make these words rhyme.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I mean,
I just
it
want to
smells like Teen
words around.
Spirit is as much
We're
as
doing
Jib
this.
Jab.
We're doing this. And it's no less a great song, but there's something about Life on Mars where everything you could tell, even if it was as carelessly recorded as it seems to have been, there's something in every note of it. There's something in the placement, the sequencing, the delays of the vocals in places, the subtle change in words here or there in choruses or bridges. It's everything about it is so directed and intentionally placed.
And if it was just a little bit off, if he doesn't say like Mickey Mouse grown up a cow there, or whatever it is, it's just every little morsel of this song is just such a perfect.
Because you can pull out of that, right? Like Mickey Mouse is one of the most beloved, globally recognized silhouettes, if not visible icon. And to say Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow, the concept of a cow, not the Indian interpretation of it as like something holy, but more something that is literally bred for slaughter. So all of your pop, all of these things, we're just going to eat them in the end, because that's what we do.
Yeah. Speaking of like of something that's so iconic in pop culture, it's like you be able to have not have your way, but work in the Star Wars realm, twice basically with Family Guy, but also with Robot Chicken.
I know McFarlane and I talked about that when it was happening. We're both like, how is this happening?
I mean, I know that's probably, it was just like a Hail Mary type thing. But it realistically, when you saw it coming together, what was the moment that you were like, oh, this is going to happen?
When George said yes.
Well, I know, but like, what was
that? Was it. We were just like, well, fuck, now we're just doing this. No one's going to stop trying. We're like, he said yes, so we better do this. We better do this really great.
Yeah. But what do you say? Like, was it hard to get to him to do that? I mean,
by the time we pitched that, it was easier to get to him because we'd had enough interactions with him. Like when we wound up taking that first meeting with his company, it was because they had seen our sketch, The Emperor Phone Call.
Yeah.
And they thought that was funny. And they didn't know how they were going to integrate that into their upcoming plans, but they wanted to do something with us. And my partner, Matt, was the one who pitched the idea of us doing a half hour of Dedicated Robot. And so once that, they were like considering that, then we just full swing. We're like, well, this is how much it would cost. This is what it would take. This is what we would do. What do you think about that? And then we like wound up having to get both of these companies, Warner Brothers and Lucasfilm, to agree with each other. And it was lucky again, because it was just one guy at that point directing everybody. So we could say to their business affairs, hey, George wants this to happen, and it would happen. You know what I mean? That's very different than it just wouldn't be possible in the same way.
He's the man, huh?
He was, yeah. Yeah, he still remains the man, but he was the man at that company.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't disappoint.
Well, I mean, but also it's like what were you most excited about to spoof, or not spoof, but honor in the Robot Chicken stuff? Like, what was
sort of happened? Like the first special that we did, it was such a kitchen sink, right? Like we're just throwing in everything, every joke we've been thinking about, any funny thing that had been like stuff that was so iconic to nerdcore that just hadn't been conversations that happened in mass. And so we were like, oh, here's a great chance to make all these jokes that we know already work. By the time we got to make a second one, we were like, what if we did a bit of a loose narrative? Like I was always obsessed with the bounty hunters. And who were these guys? Like before they all showed up on The Executor.
Yeah.
And so that was really funny. We're like, oh, let's write about each of the bounty hunters and tell kind of a story about all of them getting this job, what happened, whether they, Boba Fett's the guy that catches him, what happens around that.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time we did the last one, Senreich had just seen Wicked. So he was like, this is an amazing way to rewrite the emotional position of the Emperor. So by the time we made the last one, the one that McKay directed, we were making like the story of Palpatine's folly. Like he thought, he's the fucking hero of his story. Mm. And so by the time that's how we started it. So it's like Vader throwing him off into the chasm. He's like, run. He's like, no. And he's like, wait. How the fuck did we get here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes us all the way back. It's really fun.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? It's so, I mean, like your, 5, 6, 7-year-old self. I mean, when you were born in what, 74. So, I mean, God damn, dude.
So I saw it in 78.
You saw it in the theater? How many times did you go see it? Probably.
I saw it twice, and I think by 80, Empire was out, or 81. And so my folks knew I was sprung on it. It was C3PO and R2, like seeing that struck me, the lightsabers, the whole thing. I was like, I want to live there.
Rank your, I don't want to say all of them because it'll take forever.
I have this list on my phone.
Do you really? Is this including the newest of the news?
Yeah. It's ranked across all the new shit. It'll just take me a second to find it. But if you actually want it, I actually have it.
Yeah, dude. Of course I want it. While you pull that up, I'm going to go into kooks. This is Bowie writing about his newborn son, Duncan Jones. Incredible director, by the way. Duncan Jones.
Oh, that's so interesting.
He did Moon.
Think about that. Yeah.
He did Moon, the Sam Rockwell movie, which is fucking amazing. He did that Gyllenhaal movie. Fuck, what was that called?
Nightcrawler?
No. That's Tony Gilroy. Oh, god damn it. It was a movie about like a bomb that goes off and he keeps having to replay.
The one where he's on the train.
Yes. What was it? Source Code. Real underrated director. And then he did Warcraft, which I don't know if anyone really saw that one.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
I did.
Should I go see it?
But I didn't play that game, so I didn't have any dog in the fight. I was like, this is entertaining.
Me neither. My roommate did, who also had one of the biggest porn collections on a hard drive. And I used to try to steal the hard drive and put it on my shitty computer and basically broke the whole fucking
overloaded
computer.
Everything.
Oh, dude. You know it's bad when you have a roommate that has terabytes of porn.
Yeah.
This is back before Pornhub. This is when.
So he was one of the founders of Pornhub.
I think he really.
He's you can actually.
They were getting it all from his fucking hard drive. All right. So Bowie writing about his newborn son debuted it only days after the birth. It said he had been listening to Neil Young when he got the news. It's one of the warmest, least guarded things he's ever recorded. I'll agree with that. I think this is a beautiful song. On the album full of ambition and image games, suddenly here is Bowie just saying, basically, our family is weird. You'll fit right in. It's sweet, funny, gentle, self-mocking, the sound of a future glam deity.
It's also a warning. He's like, you better watch yourself. Because if you hang out with us,
oh yeah,
you're gonna be kooky too.
Oh yeah. What do you got? You got it?
No, and this is really embarrassing because I usually have everything so well listed, and I must just be missing this. But it's because I went all the way through because some of the top content, if you're talking about Star Wars, is the animation, and a lot of it's controversial just because people who love the films haven't watched a lot of the animation, but the animation is some of the best,
like Clone Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah, Clone Wars. And I say this with love for everybody in it. You could reasonably skip the first 2 seasons.
Interesting.
And just jump in. And then if you're on like Disney, they have curated episode arcs across like Clone Wars and Rebels. But Rebels it's what George wanted to talk about when he's talking about the Force and when he's talking about the Jedi and he's talking about the other people's experience in the galaxy surrounding those ideas.
Do you think, this is not about Bowie, this was still about Star Wars, do you think Star Wars with Disney can get back on track?
Oh, that's interesting. What do you mean by back on track?
I just feel, I love when George left, I think Phantom Menace was fine, but Darth Maul saved it. I think the same thing with part 2, the Clone Wars or the Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones
is the Yoda fight that saved the whole movie. And I think Revenge of the Sith is one of the best ones in the whole fucking thing. I think that was Washington Post really great article about it. It's like how we were always wondering how Vader would turn, and he did a great job of showing that. And then of course the excitement when he sells it. And you got, Kathleen Kennedy doing all this shit. And it's like, I think, what was it? The Force Awakens was great, but it was just really resurging the first one again. And then it just a lot of people have just kind of, especially with the Acolyte, just wasn't.
Did you watch the Acolyte?
No, it did.
I watched the Acolyte.
Should I watch it?
I really enjoyed the Acolyte. Here's the hard part about the Acolyte. It's not perfect, but the shit that's cool is so cool that I wish they got to do more of it. There's plenty of things that you could consider controversial. I didn't find any of the things that people wrote about or complained about to be an obstacle for entry. It just wasn't perfect. There's plenty of things they could have done differently that would have made it better. But the shit they got right, the twins, the stranger, the concept of a Sith discovering what it is, the Sith don't exist when this starts. So the idea of someone having been trained by a dark entity that's not even entirely understood and then that character demanding a student. It's really cool. And that character that Manny Jacinto plays, boy, he just plays it so well. It was one of the most exciting characters I'd seen in a while. So I know that a lot of people had a lot of unwarranted hate for that. It's just,
but see, when you did the Robot Chicken stuff, and when Family Guy did their episode, it's like it's honoring it, and it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, you're making fun of things, or you may be teasing it, but you're not like destroying her. And I just think a lot of the stuff that I had read, I mean, by the way, like I haven't seen it.
It's tough if you don't see it. That's the thing. Because we could have a conversation about, like, because I've seen so much of this stuff. And it all depends on who the audience is. Like I'm privileged enough to have a conversation with George about it, like talking to him about the Phantom Menace, the receipt of these characters versus the way over time all these things were received by adults. And we were talking about Jar Jar Binks, and I'll never forget this because I said, you know, Jar Jar's so foolish and he's so cartoony that it's like infuriating to any of the adults. And he goes, you saw Star Wars in the theater? And I go, I did. He goes, do you remember in Empire? We said, who's your favorite character? And I said, C-3PO. And he goes, do you remember in Empire Strikes Back when C-3PO was blah, 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 blah. They don't get the specifics of the D and Han Solo's. Will you shut that guy off?
Yeah.
What do you remember what you were thinking? And I said, yeah, I was thinking, I hope they turn him back on. And he goes, yeah, because you're a little kid. He goes, you remember how loud all the adults laughed when that happened? And he goes, Jar Jar is not for the 30-year-old you that grew up loving this, romanticizing it, idolizing it. He said, Jar Jar is for the kids that have yet to discover Star Wars and need this entry point the same way that you needed C-3PO. Mm. And if you go watch those movies, C-3PO was a fool. But he's right. And so it's just us, these adults that have grown up like applying this, you know, afterthought reverence to it.
What album by Bowie would, what movie from Star Wars would this album be, you think? Hunky Dory as a Star Wars movie. Which one is it?
It's got to be one of the movies, or could it be like another piece of content?
You do anything in the thing, anything in this in the ethos.
I don't know if anybody would get this, but it feels a little like Ahsoka, right?
Oh, the
live action series that Filoni made, like the way that Ahsoka is like stripped down and raw and like just the main chords without a lot of extra production.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like the shit that they're dealing with in Ahsoka is like core tenets of the Force and the light dark balance. It was the stuff that they were really getting into in the end of Rebels, which again I couldn't more highly recommend. Oh, and Bad Batch too. Like Bad Batch is a really great show. Bad Batch is great. It's tough because sometimes the animation is a little barrier to entry to.
No, it's not even the animation stuff. I'm just 46 years old and I put something on and I fall asleep, dude. Yeah, dude. It's just, I mean.
Drink a cup of coffee.
Yeah, like at 2 a.m. when I get into bed.
There's certain arcs and you can find them collected that'll make it really easy to understand why that stuff is some of the best storytelling in Star Wars.
What character would Bowie be on Star Wars? Who would
man,
Bowie be?
That's really hard, right? Because he carries the weight of so many of these characters. Like he could just as easily be Darth Plagueis as he could be Cassian Andor.
Who the fuck are these people? I'm like, who's Plagueis? Oh wait,
say you know Star Wars? What are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about?
He's killing it, yeah. But I mean, I'm like, God, I thought he was gonna go Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
I don't know.
Although that's one of my favorite lines ever in Robot Chicken. The Emperor is shit talking Mace Windu, and he goes, "Nobody even found this funny, buddy. His name is Mace Windu, and I threw him out a window."
Yeah, dude.
Mace Windu.
That's hilarious.
I threw him out the window.
So if make Bowie a more character that the blanket me idiot.
I just think Bowie, especially with this record, like he's got so much to say, and he's such a master of different characters that I don't think there's a role he could attempt to inhabit that I wouldn't accept him. All right, let's do
I want to do Andy Warhol song for Bob? Let's do Queen Bitch.
I'll take it.
This track is Bowie doing his Velvet Underground homework extremely well, but also making it his own. Billboard specifically points to its gay vernacular and perspective, which makes it one of the sharper example of Bowie's early queer-coded songwriting. It's also part of the BBC Peel era live repertoire around this period. I mean, the cool shit I found was it's the only way to describe it. It's swaggering. I wrote observant, funny, catty, in the best sense. If some of Hunky Dory songs are upholstered pianos, I wrote this one is a cigarette outside the venue telling you exactly who is in the room is fake.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very confident. It's I mean, it's a thing that's pretty consistent with Bowie. It's intellectual and unapologetic.
This is, you know, the placement on it right before the Bellway Brothers is perfect.
Yeah, right. What a comp.
And I know we mentioned that one earlier, but the question I had for Queen Bitch is, so you played outsiders, you played weirdos, side characters who somehow become the thing audiences remember. In your experience, why do the oddballs win?
They're more committed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Typically, they're just more committed to what they're doing. And they, through their tenacity and unwaveringness, become convincing to even their critics.
But also, like, you know, because you started acting at such a young age, did you really ever have a chance to, you know, to be the oddball because you had to fit in with, well, you know what I mean? You had to, you had to be an adult. Like you said earlier, it was like, you almost had to like conform to like, all right, I've got to show up, hit my lines, do this.
That's just
like,
at work though. You know what I mean?
No,
and I'm working with
understand.
adults. So I had this very strange experience of like working with adults and then being friends with their teenage kids.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot of kids whose parents I worked with. And I had that crazy POV, this absurd POV of like talking to my teenage friends about the problems they're having with their parents, and then talking candidly with their parents about the trouble my coworkers having with their kid. You know what I mean?
You're like, because you're like,
So
you know, always
weird.
like when you go to your friend's house and you say, "Hey, Mrs. Jenkins, good to see you.
What's
Yeah,
up?
cool. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go upstairs and play."
Right.
You would sit down and be like, "Oh man, like
No, we would see
he's
each
doing
other
great
on
at
set.
school, by the way. You know, Frank's doing great."
It was in passing. I'd come over to the house and the parents weren't there. You know, we'd hang out with the kid. Like the kids were friends of mine. We would do kid stuff, teenage kid stuff. And then I would go to work on a job and like somebody's parent was the lead on that show that I'm doing a week on as this kid.
Hilarious.
You know what I mean? So you just spend all your time, like all of your downtime, hanging out with each other.
What character have you played that you felt you put the most of you was in it? Meaning, not meaning most of you, but like you got to be, it was the thing that you would say is closest to Seth.
I don't know. I don't really, I'm sure there's things of me that I bring to all these characters. Like there's my own experience, but for the most part, I don't really think any of these characters I played, they all have sort of parts of me. Like I try not to play terrible people unless there's a real joy to being a terrible person. Like if there's a bad guy character,
Have you been a bad guy?
I played sort of bad guys. I do like, I played.
Where were you a bad guy?
I played the series foil on Entourage. I'm like the greatest bad guy that ever haunted that show.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's my favorite role. I'm I think my biggest mistake was just that character's name, Seth Green, instead of like, I think if it had been named like Kirky Jerkin or whatever, like I could have won an Emmy, but like since it just sort of almost confused Pop in a moment playing that guy.
What about something like this? This is such a weird segue, but something like Airborne, which is like that's when you had your long red hair, which you looked crazy, phenomenal. No, phenomenal.
Well, you read it the second the camera turns to him, you're like, oh shit, that guy's not gonna get me a girlfriend. Like you really. That was the joy of that character is he was like strange. He's like, no, I picked these classes, right? Like I cut my hair this way. Like everything about him was on purpose.
But you had so many great scenes. You had so many great scenes with Jack.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I'm acting like I'm like with Jack Black. Everybody.
Has he been on this? He loves music.
No, but we're here's the cool thing is we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the final 100. So now it's like all just where you like this, like getting you is like, I think we've been trying to get you for a minute, but it's like, oh, here's something really easy.
Well, this is a record.
Yes to.
I love this record. Yeah. I'm excited to talk about it. I told you when I pulled up, it was fun because I've just been playing it all week, remembering all the different ways these different songs hit me, the way the whole album hit me.
Oh, this is the best thing about doing the podcast is just the more you listen to it, the more you like, if you haven't listened to it in a while, but also for someone like me who's like known it, I heard it, a while ago, but now to like go through and just get all the doodads and the facts about it.
Yeah.
And it's just the more you listen, it just affects you in such a way. So whereas the same thing I was like saying, like with something like Airborne, what I brought up earlier, which is like, I know it affects me because that's like, I remember coming home from school and watching that on like HBO, but then also you have somebody like Jack Black. Did you have any idea, like when you're working with someone like Jack, just like the direction? Because I mean, you've worked with so many people.
You can tell. It's like I said, when you meet Carrie Underwood, you're like, oh, you're really good. So you can sing.
Yeah.
There's a difference when I was obsessed with Jack. And that was actually a point when I was filming everything. I bought a video camera, a VHS-C camera. I wound up cutting together a short, which someday I'll maybe recut and publish. But it's like all of us behind the scenes of shooting that movie. I had seen Mel Gibson do a personal doc behind the scenes of Lethal Weapon 2. And they showed it on HBO and it was the craziest. It was just so silly. Like him and Danny Glover complaining about their socks being quitters. Like this sock doesn't have a strong enough elastic band. The whole thing is them going to the wardrobe department. It's just very silly. So I was like, I'm going to make something. I brought my video camera. Anytime Jack was anywhere near me, I'm just going to film this guy. Jesus Christ. I called Breckin Meyer. I was like, you're not going to believe this kid I'm working with. This kid's one of the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life. A couple years after we made that movie, Jack and Kyle started putting up Tenacious D and they're putting it up at like the Laugh Factory. Anywhere. So I just went anytime they were doing it, I was like, you see this fucking genius? This whole thing was something else, man. Yeah, I was paying close attention to him. It was very clear.
Who else would you say that you would like work with that before they had even done anything? Because you've worked with so many young actors and so many people that are like even older people that you were like, that might have like broke later. But who was besides Jack, was there somebody you were like, oh yeah, this guy is about to fucking go?
I don't seem incredibly intuitive for this, but Beyonce was in the third Austin Powers when she was she was 19 years old.
But she was there's still Destiny's Child.
It was Destiny's Child, but they were a group. And there was something very clear that year. She just shifted into like superstar. And when you're on a movie set with everybody and everybody's just hanging out, there's people that are just exploding with talent, and you can tell. Like I said, I don't sound like, oh my God, I called it. She'd already been cast in that role.
Sure.
But it was before she and Jay-Z hooked up. It was before Crazy in Love. It was before that whole summer of music. It's a whole different thing.
That's what I was saying. Is like you've had these like.
But it wasn't like I'm so smart because I called it. It's just like I got to be in the presence of this woman before the world got to discover how absurdly talented
100%,
she is.
100%. All right. So I guess this is.
I felt the same way about Jack too. Like Jack so quickly started starring in movies, and it was less than 12 years before he made School of Rock.
But it was like seeing him, because I noticed, and maybe it was the red hair, and it was also like I said, because I grew up with you. It was just I always like you were always like, oh, like no, I know this guy, and I aged with you.
That's the thing I got to do that was lucky, right? Like I still feel like people, like I'm like the Make-A-Wish kid of this industry, right? Like everyone's like, oh, I feel like the same kid. We knew that guy, this guy. It's this weird thing. Yeah, so I just leaned into playing those characters.
Yeah, but the Make-A-Wish, they end up dying. Like you're still fucking killing it.
I'm definitely gonna die someday.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, we all
hopefully not soon. There's still shit I'd like to say.
We got a few more questions, so please just not yet.
Wouldn't that be terrible? It's just like,
dude.
McGregor.
That's the thing that scares me the most about death is not how I die, it's where I die.
Really? Like, well, because you know you're gonna shit yourself.
Oh,
no matter what.
It's gonna be like an Outback Steakhouse or something, right?
That'd be such a bummer.
Should we do another Bloomin' Onion?
Oh, and he shit himself. Guys, we're gonna need a mop.
Yeah, it's like at least to make it like a Lowry's, not a fucking not Outback, which I actually like Outback.
Your race to improv has maybe put you in Dutch with some sponsors.
Keep setting those up, Emily. Keep setting all that.
I love Outback.
Oh wait, dude, I was Employee of the Month, 1995, June of 1995.
You worked at an Outback Steakhouse?
The day I got the pin, I went to go see Escape from L.A.
Do you know Brecken's in that?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's one of the surfboarders.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
God, it's like I just only know it from Pam Grier and
Sure.
The dude.
Were you as excited as I was, man? Because I loved Escape from New York. So when Escape from LA I tried to get in and there was no getting in it. And then when I saw it, I was just so excited to go see it. So
I was Escape from LA first, and then I went back to watch Escape from New York.
That's
because
crazy.
They did something on like HBO or something where they showed the behind the scenes making of it, and I was like, this looked fucking rad.
Yeah.
They had like rock, maybe like Dawkins or some weird metal band in the background, and I was like, this is fucking cool. And then I went to see it. It was good.
Yeah.
Escape from New York is way better.
It's a very different
also
thing.
The Thing.
Yeah.
Not the same thing. That's
Kurt Russell, truth. John Carpenter, like it's great shit.
Dude, you are Bowie, bro. Your career is very Bowie-esque. I know it's a weird, I have no segues here, by the way.
I don't even have a response to that.
So this is a fun comparison, all right? This is how we're going to end this shit before we do our final questions. Bowie and Seth, there was you. You're both identity surfers, but in different mediums. Bowie jumped between glam aliens, soul sophisticate, thin white duke, Berlin experimentalist, which, by the way, when I was in Berlin this summer, I got a private tour of Hansa Studios.
Whoa.
And I stood in the exact same spot that Bowie was standing in when he looked out the window and saw Tony Visconti kissing his girlfriend and came up with the idea for the song Heroes.
That's crazy.
And I held the mic that Iggy Pop did, Lust for Life.
Yeah. It's something, isn't it? Like there's something even if it's just our own implication. When you stand in a place where other humans have been, where something significant happened, you can feel it.
Dude, I did that. I had a private tour of Abbey Road too.
Yeah.
Which is obviously like fucking like, it's like Mecca. Not just because of the Beatles, like they did the Alien score.
Yeah, they've done a lot of crazy shit there.
They did the Alien score there, which is one of my favorite movies. But it was funny because I was like with my buddy, Jelly Roll. I was like taking him around. I toured with him this summer, and I was like trying to he was like, hey, find stuff around Munich, and I was like, hey, how about let's go to the beer hall Poosh? And I take him there, and he goes, what's this? And I was like, this is where the Nazi party started. He goes, why are you showing this to us?
Because now we're doing this here.
This is like a thing. This is like where the Beatles did their last performance. He goes, you can't compare where the Nazi party started to the Beatles, final performance. I'm like,
it's history.
It's history.
It is history.
There
is something too that I enjoy, which is finding joy and communion in places that were used for divisiveness. Right? Like I shot a movie with I had a German producer, and I was raised Jewish, and he's gay, and so he's got a tremendous amount of guilt about being German, about the Nazi party coming out of Germany, about the way gay people were persecuted, about the way Jews were persecuted. And we went to visit him in Germany, did like a whole tour, not just of his hometown, but of like German Christmas markets, my wife and I, after we made the movie. And then he took us, I was like, we got to go see The Thing. I wanted to go see the Grand Airspace where they had landed, where they had the Olympics, where Hitler gave his speeches.
Yeah.
And I go, the two of us, this like giant gay German guy and me, this tiny little Jewish kid, we're going to stand on this place where some of the greatest hate was espoused, and we're going to hug each other and take a picture to commemorate this moment. So I believe in that. I believe in like throwing a concert in a place that used to be a slaughterhouse. It's like we can bring something better. We can reconsecrate this land. Did you see Sinners?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, so good, wasn't it?
So good.
Well, I really enjoyed that.
No, this was Sinners is great. And I think if it's the same feeling, I had no idea it was a vampire movie when I saw it. So it was like, I remember showing my buddy From Dusk to Dawn.
Sure.
And not telling him
that
it's a vampire movie. And suddenly Salma Hayek turns and like, what the fuck? And I was like, I thought this was like a racial movie. And then I was like, oh, there's vampires? All right. Oh, the white vampires are the music industry and the beeba baba beeba boo. It's really great. But back to this.
Yeah.
Because I want to get you out of here, dude. I feel like I've kept you way too long.
You're gonna have to cut this down.
No,
quite a bit.
Release all of it. All of it.
The Snyder cut.
Dude, this is dude, even keep the bathroom break where he just compliments how great the show is.
That's so funny. If you just
keep
left it on here,
dude.
You're just like letting out your farts.
Well, here's what, dude. By the way, my farts don't stink.
Oh,
that's true. Do you believe that?
Lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like ooh, ooh, ooh.
Man, isn't that crazy that people have no idea who the fuck Outkast is?
Yeah, some people, I'm sure. I've tried to be more graceful in those moments whenever I meet someone who doesn't know something that I take for granted should be self-evident. And I realized through my own experience that when you don't know something and someone says, you don't know that it kind of triggers you to not ever want to learn about it.
100%.
And so I've tried really hard. If someone's like, oh, I never heard about that, I'll be like, oh, there was an American band in the early 70s and there was this lead singer and he did this kind of stuff. You should listen to this one, and I'll try and like say it in a way that's not judgy or condemning. Because it's really easy to turn somebody off.
Very. And I'll never yuck somebody's yum if they like something that I might not like. I'll always like, oh, it's interesting. Oh yeah, I love this thing they did or blah, 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 blah. But it's just because like Wayne Fetterman, you know him, he's Wayne, he's been on the podcast a shitload of times.
About the Fountains of Wayne, right? Wasn't that?
No, Wayne Fetterman. He's like, you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Remember The Wire? He's like the neighbor that wants the wire removed.
Oh, he's an actor.
He's an old comic. He works with Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast a bunch.
Just don't clip that. Don't clip that.
Keep that in there. Show him. That's
of course. Yeah.
Wayne,
don't clip that.
Wayne will teach a course. He teaches a course at like UCLA about stand-up comedy. And until recently, there would be students that had no idea who Jon Stewart was. And you're like, how are you not? No, it's crazy. And someone like Outkast that headlined Coachella and like the audience, half the audience is like, what?
Yeah.
Like it blows my mind. Blur, when they're like, I'm going to Coachella for the first time this year.
Don't you remember when Kanye did something with Paul McCartney and people were like, so good. He's putting over this old guy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, man, fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all.
Just, it's tough. I just find that meeting ignorance with outrage only makes people want to double down on their ignorance.
But I think to bring it back to Bowie, it's like, I think when you say Bowie, besides the Google, it says Bowie knife.
Right.
Everybody, if you say Bowie, people know who David Bowie is.
Yeah.
If you say, Paul, it's mind blowing that somebody wouldn't know who he is. But there's something about
it's a very particular young audience.
Yeah, but it's just I get Outkast. But it's like saying like maybe people don't know the music of the Doors, but I think if they saw an image of Jim Morrison, they'd be like, "Oh, I know who that guy is. I've seen that guy
that's
before."
Interesting. The way that he visually became iconic as like a totem for this type of behavior, this type of lifestyle.
Even the fucking when you did the historical roast, which by the way, me and Jeff went to Monday. I took him to Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Are you going to Mania?
No, I'm a poser. I just needed something to do that night.
That's all right. Going to that show, even if you buy the tickets, ironically, you're still going to get the show.
Oh, but Jelly took me when he was in Paris. And
he's done spots with them, hasn't he?
He's been wrestling. So
yeah.
So we went there and me and him were sitting right behind the camera guy. And I got so much fucking attention from people being like, dude, you love wrestling? Because I was wearing a Faith No More shirt and I'm just I broke my wrist and I'm like, yeah. And so when they were playing the Garden this week, I just had nothing to do. And I was like, are you coming into town? He's like, no, but he's like, if you want a ticket. And I knew where the seats were going to be. And so that I hit up Jeff because he's been in town too, promoting his special.
Yeah.
And it was great. We had so much fun.
Jeff and I are very close friends.
Oh, Jeff's the man.
Yeah.
Jeff's the man. But it was also really funny. Like he would like, because I'm so like trying to pull my, it's like fucking body slam right in front of you. And
yes.
It's like, dude, I'll show you these videos because it's just, it'd be like Roman Reigns here. And then suddenly I just go like, it's the best, dude. And then I'm sitting next to the Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes, he loves wrestling.
He's like, good to see you again. I'm like, I've never been here. Like, but fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I think it's the same thing where it's just like, you can't not get caught up in it.
Yeah.
You can't not. And being in Paris and seeing that show was so much fun that the American audience, still great. Not fucking European, dude.
Really?
Dude, they just had all these expressions and they were, because they don't get it the way that we get it. We take everything for granted.
Sure.
All right, let me just fucking compare this. Get you out of here, dude. I feel like we're about to fucking, he's going to come back to life if we keep going any further. All right. Where was I? All right, here we go. Berlin Experiment, Elder Art Oracle. You, child actor, teen cult film guy, deadpan, supporting assassin, sitcom weirdo, franchise voice actor, and animation impersonaro. And did I say that right? Impresario, whatever that word is. I don't know what that is.
Impresario?
Thank you. Jesus Christ. Cut that out. Leave that in there.
Clip that.
Neither career is built on one fixed lane, but careers get stronger once they stop apologizing for their range. Yeah, and I feel like the chameleonism of Bowie is very similar to you, where the pre-breakthrough with Bowie, at the beginning is you're the child actor portion of your life. This Hunky Dory, I would feel, is more of your like, is your Buffy, your Austin Powers, where it's like you've broken away from being the child actor and now you're being...
that was a crazy year. That was the year that everything happened, because it was everything happened at once. I got made a series regular on Buffy. Austin Powers came out on DVD, and I made Can't Hardly Wait. And so all of those things. I
forgot about fucking dude.
Yeah. Everything happened in that same year, and all of a sudden people knew my name. And so I had a very different, it was because it was like a very delayed celebrity, right? I had been working successfully for long enough to make money, and I hadn't fucked it up enough that I wasn't bankrupt. And then all of a sudden I got famous. That doesn't automatically mean that you're rich. It just means that everybody recognizes you wherever you go. So from that position, I was able to curate my external persona pretty carefully, pretty intentionally. I feel like with the advent of social media, everyone's become a little more relaxed about that level of curation. You got to be somebody like Donald Glover, who's gonna put the artistic emphasis on every post.
But you get that at the end. Then you get to be Ziggy when you get Robot Chicken, and you get to be in total control of now this thing that is yours and your voice and
collectively, like it's a lot of people making it.
It started with you, right? And
me and Matt Senreich.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like that's where he became Ziggy.
It definitely was the first opportunity for me to drive most of the intent behind it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if people had questions about it, what are we doing? I'd be like, we're doing this.
Does it stay exciting, the arc as it keeps going? Or is it like...
I love making stuff. I'm addicted to the making stuff.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm most addicted to is the location movie making. Because you do this very specific thing where you get a bunch of people together and you put on a show. And that's the thing I love the most. Like I learned that I loved acting at summer camp. Before I was even old enough to be a camper, I had the teenage kids invite me to be a part of their talent show. And we read lines, did improv. We basically bookended all of the talent show. But I was like, I do this. I think I fucking like this. And then I found out that it was like a real job.
Yeah.
And I like begged to get on stage when I was 6 years old at another camp. And we did. We got to put on the show, spend the whole weeks rehearsing the makeup, the lights, built the sets. And then the things, everybody gets in their seats, the curtains open, and you're doing it. No stopping it now, it's happening. And then it's over, sing the song, the curtain call, everybody like takes the bow, they applaud. And I was like, this is what I do.
Yeah, you get that juice and you're like,
I just knew. And it wasn't about the applause. It was like somehow the whole process. So that's the thing I love the most is like going on location. We got this script, guys. It doesn't matter what happens 30 days from now. Everything that happens between now and 30 days from now is we're making this fucking movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So getting in that with other actors, getting in that place with everybody that's come there on purpose, even if it's just a paycheck, everybody's there on purpose.
But do you have that, did you watch the Pee-wee documentary? On HBO?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my God. If you want to cry. I mean, because I'm obsessed with Pee-wee, obviously.
Yeah. Huge influence. I love Paul so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he has this thing where he said he knew when he was doing a scene that he could just walk in playing a waiter and one little look could take all the attention from everything going on. And it could be craziness,
Yeah.
but his look would steal just everything. Not steal, but he knew how to grab.
That was his power.
That was his power.
That was his power. Is you focused on him, and he would give you something to pay attention to.
Yes,
and give you a reason to be paying attention.
And you've had so many of those moments because you have to have something like that if you've been able to have a career like that, and especially to be a child actor where you're auditioning like cattle. And I mean, because there must have been ones where
I did everything to stand out, and it only convinced me that if you're right, you're right. Like there's sometimes where it doesn't matter how good you are as an actor, you're not with the getting behind the camera really helped me with that. Just the idea that as an actor, you could be incredible. You could be so good in this role, and I'm just not going to believe you because the director needs somebody who looks like this when the audience looks at them.
Yeah.
The audience sees them for the first time. The director's job is to give the audience something believable. And it doesn't matter how good your performance is if you can't be believed next to this person doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little bit of like less urgency about it. Like I'll take a swing for something, and if the director doesn't think it's me, what am I going to do?
Was it? And I have so many questions I keep wanting to ask you because you keep saying something so interesting. But it's like, what was the biggest swing in an audition that just was like, oh, what the fuck am I doing?
I never regret it. I tried out for X2. I wanted to play Nightcrawler.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I called the old makeup person because I was like, so much of this character is like, he's fucking blue face with yellow contacts. Like, how good is my German accent? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I told the casting agent, I'm like, I'm gonna put this makeup on. And I got one of the makeup guys from Buffy, Tom McIntosh. We were over at Fox. He puts the makeup on me. I do all the scenes. I'm like, practicing my German, doing the
yeah.
I didn't get it. Alan Cumming got it. But no regrets. You know what I mean? I wasn't Sean Young showing up in the Catwoman suit, insisting that Tim Burton take a meeting with me. Yeah. I got an audition, and I was like, well, I'm going to swing as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take a big swing for anybody to notice. I did that in commercials all the time. You used to like get there. There's a sign-in sheet. You fill out all the shit. You can write whatever you want. Mm-hmm. It's not a test. It's not a legal document. I'll just write crazy shit on this. And then they take a Polaroid of you, and then they give you the Polaroid. They staple it. So I knew a bit about photography. While the Polaroid was warming up, I'd take like the back of a ballpoint and I would just draw crazy lines, and then I'd hold it on a lamp and like make bright neon shit all around my face. So when they're flipping through every one of them, they're like, what is this? You know what I mean? Anything you can do to stand out. Like if everybody shows up in a blue jeans and a t-shirt, I'm going to wear the t-shirt that's got like a big stain.
Yes, because commercials are they're such like everybody, you walk into a room and everybody looks like you. So it's like, how the fuck do you stick out?
The way I look, the things that I was right for, I was just right for. And I started leaning into just looking crazy when I went in there. Because I was like a teenager reading for teenage shit. And they wanted someone that your parents were like, I don't know if you should hang out with that kid. Or some kid that looked like they were trouble saying, that's why I drink this juice. I find this juice really gives me the energy I need to run from the cops all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so stupid, but that was the angle that I played.
I mean, any audition that I've ever gotten, like either callbacks or anything, is where I was like, I did something so different than that was on the script. And they're like, oh.
Yeah. Which isn't hard to imagine that if you're watching people deliver, there's only so many ways to read a scene that's written to tell a particular story. So then it just comes down to who's got it right and looks right.
Same thing with Bowie. It's any way to sing a song. It's the way he does it.
Yeah.
Write a song. All right. Let's get you out of here, dude. I feel like we've hit the full gambit on this. Dude, this was great. Please come back, by the way. This was awesome. I'm sorry if it went too long, but goddamn, it's just like you.
What else are you talking about? What's in the top? I'm so curious about there's so many people that you could get to talk about those records. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're aiming big, Seth.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. We're like, so Emily the Booker, Code Red, Emily, we love you. I have like a list of the people that I want, and then she'll always like we always shoot for as high as we can go for certain things, especially when you're getting to like, I mean, we're getting to the final, because we're kind of relaunching the final 100 where it's like, listen, I knew 500 was intimidating. These are 100 episodes. Yeah. This is like literally 52 weeks? No. 104 weeks. Come with us on this journey. These are the 100 greatest albums ever made. And my goal is to do the bottom 50 all in person. So I'll fly out to wherever it is. We'll get a studio.
Fun. Would you do like an audience for those?
Probably if I do
top 10.
Yeah, because
you could do like a traveling live show for the top 10.
I'm trying to get like for the Beatles. Who knows? We're gonna get Ringo or Paul, but it's like,
would you want them to talk about it?
Oh my God, dude! I've had.
Wouldn't it be better to have like Paul McCartney talk about Clapton? You know what I mean? If you get McCartney on, get him to talk about Clapton.
Sure, you're not wrong.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know
getting
exactly
them
what
to
you
talk
mean.
about their own thing would almost be.
You'd be surprised how many people we've had that have done the record. We had Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top come on to do ZZ Top. I've had.
What was that conversation like?
It was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It was actually the dopest shit at the end. I've talked about this a million times, but at the end of it, I go, hey, Billy, this was so amazing. He goes, oh, man, that was a gas. And I was like, that's the coolest shit anybody's ever said, ever, dude. But he was just great. And it's like, it's the same thing with like, as long as, because I get nervous because you're like, oh my God, like they know the record. I don't want to fuck this up. Because I get nervous just doing anything, right? It's like you have to do this delicate dance of like, make sure I don't fuck the facts up, make sure I don't critique the album too much or whatever, because songs and artists are different than anything else, man. Like the song, Life on Mars could have been played the first time you touched a titty or like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it could be like your dad's favorite song and all that shit. You have to be very, very delicate.
I really enjoyed with Bowie, just to sort of make your point, I guess, the way, I read about Booley Brothers.
Yeah.
The way he sort of every 10 years had a completely different perspective on what the song meant, to the point where he was so distanced from it. He's like, I can't even relate to the person that wrote that song.
I love it because, and that's what I wrote, it was like, this is why ending the album with that song is so genius, because after all the wit and the hooks and the cultural name checking, Bowie leaves you in a fog bank. Like, he's almost saying, you can enjoy the songs, but you do not get to fully solve me. And that's why I love it. And I think that goes with what you're saying. It's just like, does it feel like it's saying a lot? And then you're like, oh, is it?
It's like, it's not an apology. It's a kind of admission. It's a bit of a romanticizing how you got through. To me, at least, that's the way I always took that. It feels like Fight Club. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The kind of sensationalizing, not of nihilism, but of rebellion itself, of what is good trouble, what is positive mischief. In that song, it feels like they flirted pretty close to the edges of what's acceptable.
Oh my God. I mean, it's a perfect way to end this record. And I mean, especially with where he's about to go, it's such a, because as I'm like scrolling down to all this stuff that I have, it's just like, my God. And then even like, the stuff he did with Nile Rodgers, it's just, he's what I look at when I think of what an artist should be, is why I love Miles Davis, why I love Radiohead, why I love the Beatles, and why there's so many bands that we do love when they have that first record, but it's like, they just keep
not like this,
just copy paste. And it's like, no, it's like you start here and you end up all the way over fucking there. And it's like, to be able to think that if you listen to Space Oddity, you'd be listening to like Modern Love by the same guy. It's like, it doesn't
Dancing
make
in
sense.
The streets.
It's just, it's amazing. All right, let's do the final questions. Let's get you out of here. Dude, like I said, come back. We have fucking 100 and whatever many episodes left. All right. Favorite song on this record?
It's Life on Mars.
Ooh.
It just hit me. It always did. Like, it really felt like a kind of siren song in the whole album. It feels like, even where it's placed to like tell you, don't believe everything that you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't trust everything that you hear.
You're gonna have to convince me on Life on Mars, dude. You should hear me playing on piano, dude. I fucking
that's
murder
awesome,
that
man.
shit. Is there a song you skip over, or is this a no skip record?
When I listen to a record all the way, I'll listen to it all the way. But it's the stuff like Quicksand and Bob Dylan's song that I'm not as interested in, or even like the 8-word poem. I hear, like, I appreciate the 8-line poem. I appreciate them and I don't dislike those songs, but they're not what drew me to this record.
Is it what's the one that's like, come with me and you will believe and la la la?
That's Kooks.
That's Kooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
you all
not,
wrong.
I don't me and my buddy used to have this thing.
Take a chance with a couple of Kooks.
Yes, which it's not a bad song.
Yeah,
but I only hear
it.
this song that me and my buddy used to sing. It's like, come with me and you'll believe. Tell you're the one. I don't know where that came from.
That feels like Puffin stuff.
It's very
that feels like old Bugaloos.
But I think that's when we sang that song, we must have heard that. So that's what I think of. I'm not saying I skip over it.
No, but I hear you. Yeah,
I get why Kooks rules. It's not my favorite on the record. I'm sorry, people.
Me neither.
Can you fuck to this record? Can you put it on?
If Fast Times at Ridgemont High is to be believed, no. But I think you could, like, if you've got the right partner, you can fuck to anything.
But no, but there's two. I think melodically, it's
it doesn't have the kind of driving beats that typically encourage sexuality.
But I also think Bowie's lyrics are just a little too cerebral to like it's all sex is about being present. And I think like if you're listening to like Massive Attack, which is what I fuck to, or like Portishead, that's like sexy, it's about pain or whatever, blah 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 blah. With Bowie, it's too much going on, lyrically.
Makes sense.
You're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and not every song is fuckable.
Sure.
It changes. That shouldn't be the one that you're like.
Yeah, that's a tough syncopation to kind of
change position.
Yeah.
All right. What would be your elevator pitch to get someone to listen to this record that's never heard it? Like, how do you sum this record up?
This was a critical moment for one of our world's most amazing and indelible artists. And the songs that exist in this collection all have something to say that you haven't heard in this way.
Yeah. I wrote, because basically what you said is perfect. It's kind of just going off of that. I said, this is one of those records that you should hear if you've ever felt too weird for the room, too smart for the conversation, too emotional to play it cool, or too restless to stay one person for very long. This is an album that isn't just a bunch of great songs. This is somebody inventing himself in real time. And then, like I said earlier,
that's
it's
such a cool summary.
Yeah, just, I think that like the more I learn about him, it's the more I fall deeper and deeper in love with who he is. And dude, I learned so much about you today. And everybody was like, oh dude, Seth fucking rules. Oh. And you lived up to that.
Oh,
one person said you're a Holocaust denier, but besides that, everybody else
there's not enough proof.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. I've sifted through those buckets of gold rings. I get it. These were apparently wedding bands.
Promote away. Do you have anything going on you want to promote, or like just
Yeah, I got to make a movie last year called The Highest Stakes that's coming out on Paramount, and it's really, really fun. It was one of those things I have been so focused on producing that I haven't done a lot of on camera stuff, and this was exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to do. It was a great cast, a fantastic director, an awesome crew. We were all in Bulgaria shooting what is ostensibly a thriller. Like, this is a psychological thriller. That's the best way.
Is that fun to play? Is that like fun
This is a guy with a lot of unanswered questions. Okay. And it's fun because I got to use the things that people typically think about me to my advantage to inveigle the character that I played.
Dude.
Yeah.
When's it coming out?
It's this month. It's
comes
in
out this
April.
month?
Yeah, April 14th, I think.
Well, guess what? Your episode comes out a week from Wednesday.
Oh,
so
sweet.
We'll promote the shit out of it.
Thanks, man.
Go see it. Follow him on Soch, guys. Keep supporting the podcast. I can't thank you enough for coming on, man.
Pleasure.
This was so much fun.
This is really fun.
And dude, get me some of your famous people, friends that you think that would dig being on this.
Both Elijah and Jack are really good picks because they both love music so much. And then Compliment, I swear Compliment would be a great pick just because he knows so much about music and he loves music.
We've talked about having him on, and then I forget what happened, but I think he was booked or something. And because I have the connection between him and Soder. but my booker like loves him too. But I know Elijah. I'm pretty sure I said the Radiohead thing because I was trying to find somebody for the Bends.
He's just very, very busy. Is the tough part. Like he's very, very busy. He's gonna, he works all the time.
All right.
Yeah,
you're busy too, dude. I'm busy.
That's true. I got a babysitter though.
Damn it, dude. Do I much owe you for it?
No, it's cool.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a fixed deal.
Do you want to get like pizza you can send home or something?
No, but that's very sweet of you.
Oh, I wasn't really gonna do it.
Oh, that's cool. You just took it. I just reached for that. I'm gonna get the check.
No, dude. I'll post it.
I just want to.
I'll post.
Oh, you got it? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you got it.
Uber Eats. I got points on Uber Eats. Dude, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
This fucking ruled.
Right on.
What did I tell you? The one and only Seth Green. Go to SethGreen.com and on Instagram at Seth Green. Thank you for joining us, buddy. And please get me all those guests that we talked about. It could help. All his current projects are on his official website. Rock and roll. All right. Now. We just listened to Hunky Dory from 1971 by David Bowie. For our new music pick this week, brought to you in part by Distrokid, is a track called Crusher by ITSA. And you can find links to the music on our website, the500podcast.com. And if you are in a band, we want to play your song. So send it to us. If you're influenced by one of these albums, send us your song. We will play it. Tell us the album and artist that influenced you in the subject line. We will make it happen. Send your songs to 500podcast@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to a party. Let's bring it on home because a change is going to come with number 107, Sam Cooke, Portrait of a Legend, 1951 to 1964. It's about 2 hours long. The album, man, it's good. It's the retrospective of probably one of the best voices in the history of music. Sam Cooke died way too young. And if you really want to fucking do a skadoodle, go back and listen to the live record, Sam Cooke live at the Harlem Square Club, that me and the guest are going to talk about. But we did that with Neil deGrasse Tyson early on at the beginning of I think it was right at the end of 2019, so pre-pandemic. But you want to hear a difference between fucking Sam recorded versus Sam live? Mind-blowing. So listen to both those records and tune in next week. It's going to be rad. Skadoodle.